So this Christmas, I teamed up with Steven Libman from Integrity Holdings Group to give away the most awesome Disney Christmas gift ever. He's providing 3 days and 2 nights at the Wyndham in Walt Disney World. I'm providing 3 two-day tickets for a family. Together, we are going to make one awesome Christmas. But that's not what this story is about. Well, it is, kinda. Last time I met with Steven, he gave me a book called Expert Ownership. He said, "You need to read this." And I said, okay, I bet I do. So it's a book about these 2 twins that are very Christian guys that were working their way through the Major League Baseball system, and they just couldn't crack into the big leagues. But throughout their journey, they became bank-owned real estate sales professionals. So good, in fact, they created a multi-state system and had their friends and had great people work under them, and they never advertised their business. Now, they definitely included Bible verses in there. They definitely included their background. They also included a story where they were supposed to be on HGTV. HGTV bought into them, and because of the woke mob, they got canceled because of their beliefs. The book goes on to teach the way that they built their business in the beginning and then turned it into this giant franchise and how they built their other businesses. It's a really informative book. I highly recommend checking it out, whether you're religious or not. Now, for a long time, I have not considered myself a very religious guy. I was born and raised Roman Catholic, and once I turned like 18, I was basically, I'm out of here, and became what I would consider a spiritual person, whatever that means. I do believe there is a larger power at hand. I do believe there is some sort of systemic consciousness that intertwines everything, and I guess you could call that God. For a long time, I've called it the universe, but you could call it God. And the reason I bring all this up is because the brothers talked about doing something for a higher purpose, not just for God, but letting God speak through you and doing something to give back. And that really struck a chord with me because throughout most of my life, I've always been in this financial survival mode. And I know many of you have been there or may be there right now. When you're in financial survival mode, you take care of yourself, then you take care of the bills. And usually you're robbing Peter to pay Paul and back and forth, and that's just in your own bank account. When you're in financial survival mode, there's no room to give back. In retrospect, I could have volunteered more, but I just didn't have the mental capacity to even think about doing that when I had to spend every hour of my day trying to figure out how to make more money. So now I'm in a better place running this construction company, but the last 3 years since COVID, my time has been so taken up with just trying to survive one job and getting ready to start the next job that, again, I haven't really been able to think about giving back until I read this book. And one of the biggest things that clicked for me was I never thought about letting God speak through me, using my talents and the things I love to do and letting him speak through those. I never thought about letting God or the universe speak through me. I never thought about using my energy to give back and focus on that first. So over the holiday break of Thanksgiving, that just clicked for me, and I started writing in my visualization journal that I wanted God to speak through me using my talents to give back. And it wasn't more than 24 hours later when Steven texted me, "Hey, I have a random question for you. I'm giving away a stay at Walt Disney World, and I'm looking for somebody to team up with, and I think you would be perfect for this. Would you be interested in giving away the ticket portion so we could provide somebody with a great vacation this Christmas?" So naturally, out of habit and instinct, I told him, hey, I need 30 minutes. I need to think about where this money would come from. Is it smart for the business? So instead of racking my brain like crazy, I just said, you know what? I'm going to do this whole God thing. I'm going to do this whole, you know what? I'm going to pray on it. But not just praying, I put it out there. I said, lead me in the right direction, and I'm going to listen. And it didn't hit me till about an hour and a half or 2 hours later, even though I told him 30 minutes. I was just driving down the road, and then boom, it hit me like a sonic boom, like the clouds just parted in my brain. It was like a spiritual sonic boom. There was a voice that just spoke through my brain, and I was like, whoa, I do have this money set aside. I had this money set aside from a previous donation effort that I was waiting for the right place to use it. So what's my point in all of this? Is it you will ask and receive? Is it that God's always listening? Is it putting out good energy can bring back good energy? Is it just nice to do something good for somebody? Is it karma? Is it finally realizing you can get a buzz off just helping somebody, not looking for anything in return? Absolutely yes to all of that and more. So here's some final questions I have for you. What are your strengths? What are your talents? How could you let the universe or God speak through you using those talents? I've never thought of this, so this is just hitting me. If you pray, when you pray, do you listen? Because that hit me too. I never thought about just I'd pray for it and then I'd hope it come. I'd pray for it, then I'd hope it come. I'd pray for it, and then you think it's like an ATM of prayers or something, and then I guess, the prayers aren't ready yet. Asking and receiving is great, but you have to ask And in order to receive, you need to listen. The universe or God is not always going to give you what you ask for. It's going to give you what you need when it's the right time. And it's still up to you to figure out how to put things into action. This book and that experience I just told you about absolutely opened up my mind and my heart into thinking about how can I give back more? How can I give back more using the talents that I have? Which brings me to the point of this. I started this because I love being in front of the camera, I love talking to people, and I love helping people. So in a way, I am giving back more doing this, but I really want to impact more lives. I want to impact lives on a massive scale. And if you watch any of my previous videos, I really believe in putting things out there in the universe. Give it a little time to marinate, and it will come back to you. So in closing, my final question for you, could you give back a little more? Is there a way, with maybe just a little bit of energy or time or money that you have, you could figure out a way to make a massive change in somebody's life? Having that mindset could only make the world a better place. Love yourself, love each other. I'll see you tomorrow.